This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
hey, Eric, how's it going?
What's up, James? Pretty good. Pretty good, man. Another day. Another day here in the joint.
Man, so right now before you call, man, I was watching Netflix with my female Ruka, and man, we're watching this trippy story. So there was this gabacha that she ended up getting snatched up from her house, and then her dude, when he called the cops, he told them that he got sedated and and that his chick was missing. So
Wow.
I don't want to blow it. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. That possibly checks it out. I really don't remember what the Netflix series is, but when they end up finding her, or her captors let her go, they tell her, hey, don't say anything, or we're gonna make your whole family disappear. So she gets interviewed.
Yeah.
As soon as she gets home, the cops are waiting for her, and then I don't think she says any. I don't remember if she said something at that moment or a little bit after, but they didn't believe her. They didn't believe her. Whatever happened to her, they were like, "Nah, Charles, we don't believe you." And then the media was going crazy on her, talking about that it was a hoax, this, that, and the other. And
Right.
then the dude that snatched her up, he ended up. I don't know if he reached out to the news media, or he reached out to his one doctor to let him know, like, hey, they don't believe her. So man, I'm gonna do it again. And sure enough,
Oh,
that
wow.
fool, he went to somebody's house, he snatched them up. But this tonto, when he went to do it, and luckily this happened, because this is how they were able to catch him, he dropped his cell phone.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
He dropped his cell phone, and that's how they were able to track him down. And then when they raided his crib, they found like all kinds of crazy stuff. They found some blow up dolls and some medication
wow.
to sedate you, and that's where I walked away. So that's all I know. So if you do watch it, I didn't blow that. Hopefully, I didn't blow that much of it for you. And
But well, I think that's good enough right there. Yeah. That was pretty good. I was in. I was all the way in.
Oh, you know what? You know what was the cherry in the top? Because the chick that got snatched up, she got done dirty. The worst thing that could have happened to her happened to her. I don't want to say it because I'm not trying to end up in the YouTube joint.
Right.
We're already in the TikTok joint, so I'm not trying to be locked up in both places. But both the chick and the chick's dude, they both ended up losing their jobs because they were catching backlash on the media talking about that it was a hoax. Their employers let them go. They couldn't get a new job. It was all bad for them.
Wow. Damn, that's crazy. Man, it sounds like a pretty interesting series right there, for sure. And it kind of sounds like, I don't know, like a. It sounds familiar too for some reason. I don't know, maybe they made a movie out of it or something. But it kind of sounds like a little familiar. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, man. And then you know what? We got Ms. Vero 559 in here, and she writes from Vallejo. So yeah, it took place in Northern California. Like this story. So, and I'm not sure how recent it is, but it's obviously it's a big thing because it ended up on a Netflix documentary.
Right. Yeah, that's just trippy. That's a trippy story right there.
Yeah, man. Oh, you know what? Another thing was when they snatched the second person, because the wife the wife or the dude or the wife called, and then when the wife said that somebody got snatched up from the house, I was thinking, oh, this fool's gone crazy. He snatched up the dude this time, so that fool he was gonna be that fool he didn't discriminate. That's what I was thinking. But now the dude didn't get taken. They took the daughter. So I think we might be having some issues with the phone. Eric, if you could hear me, I can't hear you. Man, and let me see, it's 7. I thought that this would have been a good time, but it looks like it might be peak time over there for
Hey.
Yeah, okay, you're back.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So,
yeah, I went out for a little bit.
Yeah. It looks like this is the prime time hours where everybody's, getting a hold of their loved ones and, making sure that the rucas are going home or making sure they're at where they're supposed to be at or where they said they were going to be at.
Yeah. yeah, I hear you. Yeah, there be cats like that for sure.
Yeah, but I be hearing the reverse too. Like I be hearing about the green dot that it shows that you're active and they you guys be catching some flack, some blowback because the GTL app is showing that you guys are online and you guys ain't responding immediately when the message gets sent. When they dropping that wheel out your way.
Yeah. Man, you know what? Yeah, I'd be hearing stories like that too, man, and even my girl be reading stories on like the prison wives and things like that, like this green dot, and my girl be like, man, I don't get it, like I'm not even tripping. So fortunately, I'm not one of those guys that has to worry about that.
Yeah.
I got a good woman, so I don't really get no slack for it. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hey,
that does happen.
And right now that you mentioned those forums, I've been hearing a lot about them forums that sometimes when the tablets go down, the girls are like, hey, like the tablets are down already, like it's time to party, girls. Vámonos, súbanse a la Suburban, let's go.
This is our shot.
Yeah.
We got about an hour and a half. Maybe 2.
Yep.
Oh man, that's a good one. Yeah, I hadn't heard that one.
Oh man, I think it cut out again. But yeah, it's interesting. When I hear these stories, it's I mean, I find it humorous, but man, it's not. If you're going through these things, it's definitely. I'm pretty sure it's not a laughing matter. Definitely going through it. So that doesn't sound like a good time. So.
No.
Man, so yesterday, where we left off, man, we left off. We kind of left out. You left us at a cliffhanger yesterday, no?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I mean, I had entered the county, and we were talking about that experience. Trying to remember really where I left off at, but yeah, we were talking about my crimes, or I was supposed to have crimes and co-defendants actually, better said. But yeah, and then one of them bailed out, and then the other one just kind of they got immunity and stuff like that.
Hey, yeah. You know what? Let me ask you this. So the 2 people that jumped on their immunity deal, the quickest, were they over the age of 18, or were they under the age of 18? And if they were over the age of 18, had they had any prior experience in the system before?
So one of them was one of them wasn't. One of them was 17, and I think that was like his first time being arrested and taken to juvenile hall and stuff like that. And the other one, he was about like 18 or 19. He's my age for sure, and he had prior like county visits, a few county incarcerations and things like that. But as far as prison, no.
Okay. So I guess he realized that that wasn't what he signed up for. Um,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. When stuff hits the fan and you get caught in the crosshairs, it's like that's when like, and I don't say none of this to like condone or glamorize any of the lifestyle or anything like that, but it was like, like back then we're supposed to like, be solid, and supposed to write it out and things like that, and that's what it was, that's what it was. We were under those the distorted belief system, things like that, and I was like, man, yeah, as soon as stuff hit the fan, it was like, screw that, like pointing fingers and all that, and dropping names and
all right, so the audio went out. Hopefully it'll be coming back. It'll be coming back sooner than later. And I mean, what else can I say about Garbage Tail Link? Okay, we're back. I can hear you now.
Garbage Tail Link,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah, no, but yeah, like I was saying, was back then maybe I held. I mean, I know I did. I held a certain belief and back then it was wrong. What they did. Now, they did absolutely the right thing. They did what they were supposed to do, even though it was under ulterior motives, I would say, because they were involved just as everybody else was and as I was. And
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
They chose to take that deal and act like nobody like they didn't know what they were getting into, or that they didn't know what was going to happen. When I mean that just wasn't the truth. Everybody knew what was going to happen, what was going down. And so that's the only thing that I could say that I probably still hold on to a little bit, but not really though. Like now, I've learned to accept it. I've learned to forgive. I learned to see, what the right thing to do was, and so it's like I don't blame you. I have nothing against any of those guys. I hope they're living their best lives, man. Hopefully they got their life together, because it could have been ruined right then and there, just like so many other lives that day, So my hopes now is that they may be doing good, man, and being productive members of their society, and hopefully living a good life, So yeah.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, yeah, if they did that, then yeah, I would hope the same for them too. That they turned over a new leaf. They saw that they didn't want that life, and hopefully they became productive members of society. Because if they decided to go down a different route and kept on getting involved in the same things, when they knew they were not cut out for it, then all that for what?
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how I see it too.
And I want to go ahead and so we got two viewers right now, or in the chat there might be a little bit more viewers, but the ones that got into the chat right now, we got Ms. Vero 559, and we also got Fish Slayer SoCal. He's he's out from San Diego, from the San Diego area, and man, he's a huge supporter of the channel, and not just in the chat, in real life. Recently we had our first
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
We had our first interviewee come home, and Fish is he's been offering help some of these gentlemen out when they come home, and true to his word, when Joe got home, he asked him, he was like, hey, if you need a holler, I got you. And
man,
and not
That's
any
huge, man.
and not any type of holiday. You know, he's hooking him up with what do you call, Carpenters Union out in SD. So um, you know, those are those type of jobs that could help you, you know, get ahead, um, and and and, um, and not struggle.
Yeah.
Hello, I think it might have gone dead.
Man, I think I'm gonna go out.
Hey, I know it's about to, I know it's about to hang up. If you can call back, are you guys? What do you mean you're gonna go out? Like you're gonna? All right, and welcome, Rosa. Welcome to the chat, and thank you for that. He should be calling back in a moment or two, and we're currently live with ERICK Fuentes. And man, and the reason I say it like that is because man, there's this 911 call from this dude named Victor Fuentes from Compton. And if you haven't heard that, if you haven't heard the 911 call, I would highly recommend it for you to look it up. I find it humorous and hilarious. Hopefully, if you look it up and you hear it, you get a good laugh. Man, come on, get it together, garbage tail Link. Messing up the whole audio situation over here, man. It's not even giving us the prompts right now. That's how bad it is. Let me see. Maybe I press the 5. It'll connect. Hasn't even connected yet. Anyhow, hey, Fishler, you know how you been doing? I know you've been you know, my streaming times have been a little bit crazy, so you haven't been able to, you know, catch up. And also with, okay, he's calling back. Let's see here. Let's go.
This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Telling, usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Hello.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
man, it sounds like you guys they're having a party out there. What's going on? No more. So right now, Rosa, we're actually on we're on a little vacation from a little forced vacation from TikTok. We won't be back until on TikTok.
Right.
Okay, yeah, your audio went out, so you're back in. But so Rosa was asking about a TikTok, so we'll be back like I think on the 4th. We should be back on the 4th. They forced our hand over here, so hopefully we don't break the rules next time, and we stay in line. So gotta stop being habitual rule breakers. Just I'm not really too clear what the rules are, but I'm gonna go ahead and you know, try to be a little bit more careful with our words over here. And Fishler's been hey, what's up, Michael? How's it going? Coming in from Toronto. This time I got it right, from Toronto, Canada. And let me see. Fishler's been busy, bro. Keeping work on the right track, and went on the season opener on fishing. Oh, hell yeah, that's what's up. Nice to catch you live. Yeah, yep. You know, we got our newest interview here, ERICK, but the tablets are not they're not cooperating right now. They're doing what they want to do, and I'm gonna ask him right now. You know what? I don't think I ever had anybody check out if the phones on the wall work any better than the tablet, or if they suffer from the same issues as the tablets, because that'll be the next option there, if it's available. And I know he's in Eric's in honor dorm.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
He's on 5 block. So I'm gonna ask him if he could jump on the phone anytime he wants out there, or if he's restricted. Because I know Jesse and David were talking about the honor dorm yesterday, and they were talking about some of the extra perks, I guess you could say, that they get over there. But then they were also saying that they're a little bit more stricter over there. So even though you're single celled, you can't like put any of your belongings in the extra locker or the extra bed, because that's what you normally do when you're single celled. You're gonna occupy everything, because you got double the space. You don't have to share with anybody else. Put your belongings on. You should do a video call. Shh, Rosa. Yeah, that'll be cool, right? A video call. I'll double check with him. I know I had mentioned it to him. I think maybe like on our first or second call, but I also told him that he should probably check with his wife just to make sure it's not it won't create any issues, or it would be a conflict of interest for him. The last thing I'm trying to do is trying to get anybody trying to cause any issues. So I'll double check with him to check what it is on that. But yeah, no, I definitely I try to push those video visits whenever we can. And I actually want to try something new. Eric's my tocado, that's my name also. Yup. So yeah, I wanted to try. So I've been working on this thing where hopefully I'm able to do video visits while I'm on the move. So what I mean by that is, if I go on a trip or something and I'm out and about walking around or whatever, then I'll be able to video visits with the fellas, and also I'll be able to share that video visit with you guys also. And I need to achieve this without having a computer, because if I'm walking around, I can be walking around with a computer and a cell phone. That's just gonna be looking like too crazy. And a computer's kind of bigger, so I gotta at least have at least one of my hands free. So I think I got it. I'm just waiting for a few because I got the phones already, and I've already as far as like being able to do it, I can. I'm just waiting for what is it, like some phone holders, so I could hold like everything together, because it requires 2 phones, something a sound card to process all the voices and whatnot, which I have. I just need something to hold everything together that'll be kind of compact, where it doesn't occupy a lot of space, where I could hold with one hand and do it like that, because I do have some trips coming up, and I definitely want to share with the fellas when I'm out and about across the world, and they could kind of see like different places that they probably never experienced besides seeing them on TV, and they could be there real time and see it there with me, and then you guys could see it too. So it'll add a different point of view, I guess you could say. And then if you guys want to see something, or maybe if you guys are familiar with the area, you guys could jump on the chat and or if there's something that you see there, I could get some get some close-up shots for you or for the fellas. Anyhow, it looks like Rosa puts, that's dope. Hell yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So I still haven't got to fully test it out yet, but as soon as I do, I'll go ahead and let you guys know that it's ready to go. And man, what's the first place I should go to when it does work? It'll be like real time GTO visits, like the ones I do normally here in the house. Obviously I'm doing them on the computer, and that makes it a lot easier, because on the computer I'm able to customize them and set them up the way I want. But I'm a little bit more limited when it comes to using 2 phones. But I'll make it work. Anyhow, so let me see. Right now we're currently on so we're 7 minutes on this call. On this, we'll call it a ghost call, because even though he can't talk, he might have disconnected from the call already, but the GTO system still thinks that we're on the call. Even if I hang up on this call right now, he still wouldn't be able to call till it runs, till the 15 minutes runs its course. So right now we're currently at so we need about another 7 minutes before he could call back. I'm gonna check one more call. If the issues keep on happening, I'll probably most likely just go ahead and reschedule and do it like that, or maybe we could try a little bit later, because yesterday we had a little better luck yesterday. We did it towards the late night. I think we started like at about 9. I think we ran it for almost about 2 hours, and it was pretty good. But today is definitely not cooperating. Anyhow, I still need to. I've been painting our restroom for the last I think the last 2 days. So we originally had our restroom. It was like this really dark gray, and we recently had a new floor put in, and then we got a new sink and cabinet, and that wasn't part of the the floor work, so that I have to go ahead and take care of that. So I've been painting that gray, but that gray, like, man, I don't know what's up with it. It just seems to be penetrating through the white. I already put on like 3 coats of white primer, and it just keeps on penetrating. So I'm gonna add one more coat. I'm hoping with the 4th coat it'll do the trick, so I could go ahead and just put on the white that I want on there, which would be a semi-glossy white for the restroom. And then because my wife's she's been putting the pressure on me to get this done. So I've been working on it for the last 2 days. Hopefully I'm able to add the last primer coat today, and then tomorrow I'll go ahead and put in the semi-gloss white, and we should be good to go. And then that'll hopefully at least buy me some time before I gotta start working some other projects I got going on around the house. It's like the never ending battle, getting these things done. It doesn't help either that I'm a habitual procrastinator. I like to drag my feet. I normally won't start doing it until my wife starts making some threats, or she starts giving out some warning shots. Like, hey, if you don't get this done, I'm gonna call so and so they could go ahead and give me a quote on that. And I'm like, nah, it's not necessary. I'll go ahead and take care of it. It's cheaper if I do it. And not only that, it's cheaper, and if it doesn't come out the best, then it's okay, because I did it. I hate paying for.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
It irritates me, when you pay for somebody to do something, and the quality is not the greatest. I look at it, I'm like, man, I could have done that, and I had to pay for you to do it. Next time I'll just do it myself, and then I'll be fine with it, because I don't do this type of work. All I'm doing is watching YouTube and getting the tips from there, and figuring out like that. So we're at 11 minutes, so the call should be hanging up in about 4 minutes or so. Once this call concludes, which is a ghost call, which you just hear me talking, and you're probably here to listen to ERICK. But GTA, or Garbage Tail Link, has other plans for us right now, and hopefully on this next call we get better audio, and hopefully the call doesn't drop. I think he might have just sent me a message. Let me double check here. Yup, he did. Let me see, what did he write? He said, hey James, this thing is saying I have a car already active and not allowing me to call in. Yup, they got you. Yup. I guess this is the first time he's ever experienced something like this. Let me go ahead and hang up. So we're at about four more minutes. So all right, so we'll go ahead and wait another 4 or 5 minutes, and he should be able to call in. How's everybody out there doing today? It's starting to get hot out here where I'm at. We should be getting into the triple digits in no time. And definitely don't want to get caught out there with no water. Remember, always keep some water in your system, or if not, you might end up catching a heat stroke. And I see some patients come in to work like that, and it definitely doesn't look like a fun time. When you got your tongue, hanging outside of your mouth, and you barely got any signs of life in you. Not a laughing matter. All right, and let me see. Do I got any? So, I think this week I might be attending a board of parole hearings. I'm gonna go ahead and email them today, and hopefully they grant me access. And if they do, then I'm hoping that it's done over a video visit. Actually, hopefully I don't have to go to the actual prison. Hopefully they'll provide me with a link, and I could just tune in here from here in my the comfort of my home. And hopefully I'm able to video record him. I know how to do it, but I'm not sure if it's something that is allowed. And if it is, then I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you guys, so you guys can go ahead and get a glimpse of what happens, what's the happenings inside these board of parole hearings here in California. I've seen some other channels. They got I don't remember what state it is, but it has been popping up on my feed. And you know what? I've only read the titles. I've never actually gone in to watch those videos, but they do have some interesting titles on them. I wonder if when they get interviewed, does the person getting interviewed or the interviewee, do they actually get to see the board of parole personnel, or do they just get a blank screen? I guess we're gonna find out sooner than later, right? Yup, interesting. It sure is, Rosa. So coming soon, hopefully this month, right here in coming up in May, we got somebody going to the board of parole, BPH, and they said they were okay with me listening in if I could get approved. So I don't think I have any issues getting approved and getting that link. So be on the lookout, and I'll go ahead and I'll give you guys some updates if I am able to secure that virtual link. Man, imagine if I could do it real time. We could all be watching it at the same time. For that, if I do get the okay for that, that's something I would post up on the community post, so you guys will know if you guys are interested in watching it. The reason I don't post up, like, when I'm gonna do these lives with these phone calls, it's because ultimately, these guys are in prison, and sometimes the phones are working, as you can see, like right now, or sometimes they'll shut down the tablets, if they're doing some searches or whatever. And there it is. All right.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Yo. What's up, James?
Hello. Man, I was over here. I was like rambling, and I don't know about what. I was like, man, shit, are the 15 minutes up yet? Now, you know what? I'm used to that already. Like the system not being able to call, the system not allowing you to call because it still thinks that you're in the middle of a call. I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah.
On my end. Yep. It happens a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I was wondering. I was like, man, this sucks. I'm trying to dial back. I'm using my tablet, the wall phone. It just ain't happening.
You're on the wall phone?
No, I'm on my tablet right now, but I could jump on a wall phone.
That's what I was gonna ask you. That's what I've been meaning to ask you. You have access? You could go out of your room whenever you want and jump on the wall phone?
Well, over here in this block, since I'm in the honor building, it's they allow you to come out to any day room, in the morning, afternoon, and night, in any yard. So, just about a minute ago, they opened up day room. So I seen this thing was tripping. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go outside and then just use the wall phone. Since they're out there, they're usually always empty. But right now, since the tablets are tripping, like people are on them. But yeah, you come out and You could jump on them, you know.
Oh man, that's what's up. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, if this thing continues to act up, I'm probably gonna try to get in line for one of them WOP phones, and then see those should probably work. Be able to work pretty good. I mean, for some reason, I don't understand how, but yeah,
Well, you know what?
I
Because
think they'll work a little better
the
than
wall
the
phones,
tablets.
they probably
But right
still.
now, everybody's
I think the wall phones are still hooked up via copper, the copper lines. They're probably hooked up like legit real phones, opposed to the tablets. You know,
yeah.
they're VIOP, so it shouldn't affect them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. So,
Hey, let me
yeah,
ask you.
it's just loud out here though.
So
Uh huh.
you know, I had asked you last time if you were interested in doing a video visit, and one of our viewers right here, you know, asked if you would do a video visit. Is that something would you be interested in, or would that be a thumbs up, or thumbs down?
No, that's yeah. I mean, no, that's not a problem. I could most definitely do a video visit.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. That's good to know. So I think when we do if we do another call this week, yeah, we could definitely do a video visit. I would suggest right now, but the computer that I'm using on it doesn't allow me to I think the phone went dead again. It doesn't allow me to. They recently did an update to the app that I use to be able to put that, you know, like the video visit on the screen, and it broke something.
Yeah.
But on my other computer, I could do that where I could project the video visit screen on
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I could project that,
Right.
for everybody, for everybody to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we could definitely do that whenever we get the opportunity.
All right, and for anybody
I
that
could have done one. I could have done one right now too.
oh really?
Yeah, I probably could have. The kiosk is open, so it's available to get on.
Shit, I could probably
But it's all right.
I could getify it right now too. I could get my webcam, and I could point it towards the phone so they could see you, and I could plug it up. Let me check if I got that other cuerno that I normally use. Shit, yeah. You know what? If you want to try, we could go ahead and do it. We could try it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, we could try it out.
Okay.
Jump on the
Sounds like
FaceTime.
sounds like a plan. Let me just get my gear over here, cause man, let me see. I need my connection for the audio. So if you want, is it open like right now, right this moment?
Uh huh.
All right. Well, quick.
I'm sorry about the noise too.
School. Don't. You know, I know you have no control over it, so it's all good.
Ooh, I think it went blank again. You hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want, jump on and I'm gonna set it. I could set it up right now. I'll set it up where they should be able to see you. Virtual camera. Let's see here. Studio mode.
Okay.
Yeah. I got some money on the account, so we'll be good.
All right. Well, I'll send you the invite. Man, I wonder if I had to have sent you the invite prior to this.
Nah.
We'll try it out.
Nah. You don't have to send one before.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me log into this kiosk and try to get through.
Okay. Hey, Michael, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. So if you're able to get on, get on, and I'll grab I'll grab all my connections and set everything up.
All right. All right. I'm gonna hang up.
Okay. Well, I'll be waiting.
All right.
All right. You want to grab something?
I just want to count how many am I ordering this thing.
Okay.
I have 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. I ordered 9. Yeah, I have to order 9. Uy, are you live? No.
Huh?
You're live? You're not live, right? Because I saw it on the camera.
Yeah, no, it's blocked off. Hopefully.
What are you doing, man?
All right, guys. So I'm running around right here. I'm trying to set everything up so I could get Eric on the screen over here. And let me see. What do I need? Let me get this. Just bear with me here. I'm trying to set everything up really quick. Plugging in the phone for the video visit, and I gotta grab the camera now. All right, so I'm just running around my room right now, trying to set everything up really quick, and just bear with me here. And I wasn't anticipating this, but you gotta sit here and roll with the punches. So I'm trying to set this up really quick here as best as I can. I should have done it on the other computer, but like I said, I wasn't anticipating a video visit. All right. And once again, Michael, yeah, I really appreciate those 10 Canadian dollars you sent this way. I appreciate that. And let me see, video device, video capture. Okay. Oh, hold on, what camera? Okay, I gotta switch that camera. Logitech. Okay. And right now we're just waiting for him to call in. Okay. Hopefully nobody calls in while we're in the middle of can you guys see this? I don't know. If you guys could, I guess you guys saw my wife in the background. Let me see here. So I haven't got any notifications yet right now that and if you guys did see me, you guys see me running around like a madman. Collect call from. Oh yeah, shit. Oh, I was live. How come you guys didn't tell me? All right, so let me see. I gotta move this around. Yep. I thought you guys couldn't see me. I was over here running around like a madman. Oh man. Let me see. Let me switch it here. There we go. All right. Good thing I was shaved. Imagine. I would have been looking all jacked up. Here we go. All right, so pretty much, if you guys are coming in right now, then you guys would know that that we're waiting right now. We're waiting for Eric to call. I haven't got anything on my end yet, as you guys can see on the screen right there. If it does come up, then you guys will be the first to see. And oh, hold on, I gotta transition it. Boom, there it goes. That's a little bit better right there. Like I said, I don't have my normal setup right now. Like the program that I use to to mirror the screen of my phone, it's not working. I was having some issues with it, and so I got to do it like that right now. Maybe I'll turn on so you guys don't get that glare on that screen there. I might turn on the lights. I'm guessing it might not work because he hasn't called yet. Hopefully nobody else calls. Imagine somebody calls and their caller ID comes up on my phone. This is gonna be no bueno. Absolutely no bueno. All right, and let me see. You know what? Right now that window capture. Rosa. Oh, there it is. All right. Answer. All right. All right. Let's see.
Yo.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh man, hey, what's up, Eric? So this is Eric. We got Eric live on the flesh right here.
Okay. So we're on or what?
Yeah, we are on. We are on. Oh, you know what? Hey, can you see the count? Can you see my county blues right there in the background?
Yeah. I see him right there hanging, folded up. Oh man, I was thinking about that the other day, man. I was just like, man, them Krispies, man, they sound nice right now. I'm like, there's definitely got to be something wrong with us.
Right? Yeah. Nah, there's something. I'm telling you. Like when I took them, man, I was, there was something really wrong with me, broken inside of me. But man, there's something that when I look at those pants, man, that they definitely take me back to a different, time and place.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely.
Yeah. So man, let's get into your journey. So you let's get into where we left out. We left out on your trial. How long was your trial, and what kind of things were going on through your trial, and did you understand what was happening? When they were using their legal jargon and whatnot.
Man, my trial was like probably about like 3 weeks. It's probably about 3 weeks, and I mean, now I realize that I didn't really know what the hell was going on, as far as like my defense and what my rights were and things like that. So I was just there. I was just there present. I knew, I knew what I was incarcerated for. I knew what I had done. I knew what it was all about. But as far as like all the legal stuff, like I really didn't have no idea as to how all that worked and what like a fair trial consisted of and things like that. So it was all kinds of things going on that I seen. I look at it now and I'm just like, man, I didn't have a chance, from the gate. Sitting in that trial and then trial room with the jurors and picking my jury selection, and it was like as soon as looking at it now, it's like like I was guilty, you know. I got found guilty, whether the process was done correctly or not. You know, so man, I'm just glad I wasn't innocent, because if that would have been the case, it just, there was no way I was gonna get any justice, you know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I know a lot of times, you know, you go into court and whatnot, and you don't understand what the hell is going on. You know, all they tell you is, hey, plead not guilty, and sign here, and vámonos. You know, that your life is done with.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Um, you know, yeah, like thinking back on it now, like there was so many different things I could have done, but then at the end of the day, it was just I would have been trying to undermine the system, you know. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't, you know, like didn't know anything like that, and that I wasn't able to beat this case, and that I did get found guilty, and all of those things, you know. I appreciate my sentence now, looking back at it now, you know.
And when you're going through the trial, did anybody come testify against you? How many witnesses were they, and were there any witnesses besides the people that were in the car with you, or was the majority of the case based on that?
Yeah. So man, I had as far as like star witnesses, um, they only had one. They had one witness from the party that semi-identified me, and then my the two guys in the car that got grant use of immunity. Um, those were like the main witnesses that that they used in court, and then aside from that, it was all like just like detectives and like officers from the scene, and just things like that. But as far as like witnesses, it was mainly like them three, you know. Yeah, and then why I say semi-identified me, because when I got arrested, the what what he was saying was and even in court, even in trial, like the way he identified me was, um, it looks like him. If he was if he was darker and had a little bit longer hair, I could say that it was him. But I'm not 100% sure. You know, that was the witness testimony and identification. That's what they used. So it all corroborated, you know, with two individuals in the car, saying it was him, and then this guy saying it looks like him, and it was like it is him, and it was, you know, it was. So, like I said, I can't be mad at that.
And when you're they should have been your co-defendants, but obviously they got out of it. What were you thinking
Right.
when they walked up to the witness stand?
Oh man, during that time, uh, I was just like, man, I was just thinking, man, how funny it was, how you know, I found it amusing, like to see these guys get up there talking about, you know, they were part of the lifestyle, and you know that you know that they had no involvement in it, and you know, testifying and things like that. So I was just I resented them at that time. I was frustrated. I was angry. You know, I I held animosity towards them for that. You know, like I said, during that time I was just selfish and just thinking about self-preservation and things like that. Um, and so when I seen him on there, I was just like, man, like this dude's a joke. You know, like you fools are jokes. Like you fools is not about nothing. Like look at you guys now, and that was my mentality back then. You know, because like how you had mentioned too, is like once you get busted, it doesn't mean like that's it. You're changed. You know, I still held the mentality. I still held the beliefs, and so that's the way I thought. You know, I was like, well, like look at these suckers, man. Like talking about, you know, we were with it at one point, and look at you guys now. You know, so it was kind of that sentiment towards them at the time. But like I said, now looking back at it now, it's just like, you guys just did what you guys were supposed to do, you know, and that was the right thing for them to do, you know. Even though, like I said earlier, like they took no responsibility, and that kind of still like, it kind of like gets at me a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, they were just there, and I'm the one that really I'm the one that committed the crime, you know. So, like I said, hopefully they got their stuff together and changed their lives around after that.
And how long did it take for the jury to deliberate and you know, determine whether you're guilty or not guilty?
Man, it took them. So we ended like on a Friday or Thursday or Friday, and we went through the weekend, and then yeah, I think we ended up like Friday, and we went through the weekend. So when I came back Monday, like towards the end of that day on Monday, they had came out with their verdict, with their decision, like late in the day. I was like, man, I'm probably gonna go another day or something, and nah, they decided that I was guilty, and so it so happened that way, you know.
And when you got found guilty, how did it hit you? Like, what was going through your mind? Were any of your family members there, and what were their reaction if you had somebody there?
Well, my family was coming in and out during my trial, like my brother and my mom, and it's like uncle, or like one of my aunts and a couple cousins and things like that. But they couldn't afford to be there every day, you know. And so once my trial was over, though, and I was just in jury selection, I mean in jury decision time, no, there was nobody there. I didn't really have anybody there at the time. And then my brother, they didn't allow him to sit in during my trial. Actually, he ended up getting banned from being in the audience during my trial because they said that he was intimidating, that he could be intimidating witnesses, and so they didn't want him there, and for that reason they didn't allow him to be there during my trial. And so he couldn't even be there, or I'm pretty sure he would have been there during my decision, during the decision that they made. So I didn't really have nobody there, and so when I got hit with the guilty verdict, I was like, damn. I couldn't believe. I was angry, man. I was angry because, yeah, I was angry. I felt I didn't deserve that. It was ridiculous to even think that way, you know, now. And because I seen when they came back with the decision, one of the jurors came in, and she was crying. She was crying because, and I already, like, I could tell, like, oh, she's crying for a reason, you know. She seen me sitting there, and she was all sad, and so I was just like, oh yeah, this is not good news, you know, like, at least for me. But it definitely was great news to the victim's family and all those that were affected, and so that was a good thing, you know. At least fortunately they were able to get justice. But when that was happening during that time, yeah, I seen her kind of all sad and things like that, and I remember during that time, like what you sad for, and I, like, holding it against her, like, you know, for her feeling bad. It was like, I'm telling you, like my mentality was so distorted and my warped thinking, and so like I was just thinking to myself, like, if you feel that bad, why'd you find me guilty, you know? And so yeah, I think it just gave us a warning right now.
Yeah, we're down to 50 seconds. I still got some more funds if you want to call back. If
Okay.
yeah. So, but we'll let it run through right now because I'm paying for this, so I want to make sure I catch every cent.
You gotta get every penny. Heck yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, I feel you. And yeah, so for sure. But yeah, man, it was a very it was a it was a process for sure going through that trial and having to face all that now and it was like thinking it back on it now, it was like I was numb to it, like I wasn't even there, and I'm just thinking about my outcome. I'm not thinking about, like the real reason I was there. I was there to be held accountable and to be, show justice to the.
All right, so let me see here. All right, so the call got disconnected right now. As soon as he calls back, then I'll go ahead and put it back on the screen here. I don't want to do any more bloopers here. I'm pretty sure, you guys got a kick out of that earlier on. But let me see. Eric Martinez writes, "Was the victim about that life too?" If I remember correctly, no. I think the dude that ultimately ended up losing his life, I think he was not. He wasn't. I don't think he was part of a gang. But I'll get clarification on that right now when he calls back, and there he is. He's calling back. Let me see here. Let me see how much money do I have. I got $9 on here. So let me put it back on the screen here for you guys.
Hey.
Okay. So
we're back.
We're back. Let me put you back on the screen here. I hit it for a minute, and I want to tell you. So I'm gonna shoot you one of these here. I'm gonna drop these I'm gonna drop one of these in the mail for you.
Oh. Oh shoot! What's that?
That's the logo. That's the logo. That's the logo for the YouTube channel.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So
nice.
I'll drop that in the mail for you. Tomorrow. So hopefully, you'll have it in a week or so, or whatever time it takes for them to process it. We have a question in here from Eric Martinez, and he asks, "Was the victim about that life too?"
So to this day, he was not. He was not, according to finding out in the future. He did not belong to the gang. It was I guess he just hung around. From my understanding was that he was just somebody that hung around with this gang, with these individuals, but that he was not fully a gang member, and so yeah, to my understanding, that's what it was, and like I had mentioned earlier, I believed him to be the individual that had hit us up when we first arrived to that party on the night of the crime, and it wasn't. So in a way, it was like a case of mistaken identity, and so yeah.
And you know what? Even if he was like part of it, I think at this point, right? It wouldn't. Do you think how do you feel about it? Do you think your actions would have been justified if he was part of that?
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Whether he was or he wasn't, the fact of the matter was that I didn't have the right. I don't have the right. Nobody has the right to take somebody's life, regardless of anything. Whether living in that lifestyle or not. And so it wouldn't have made it any better, and it was just bad all around. It was the worst decision I could have ever made in my life.
Yeah. And So I know before the video visit got cut off, you had you were kind of talking about the juror, and there was a juror on there that was getting teary eyed, and kind of like your thoughts were at that time when they were coming back to read your verdict.
Yeah.
When they read you the verdict, did they also let you know what your sentence was going to be, or did you have to come back for that at a later date?
I'm trying to remember. So they found me guilty, and I don't think I ever went back. I don't remember ever going back, but yeah, I think I ended up. Or did I go back for sentencing? I think I might have gone back for sentencing. I'm not sure, man. I think they did tell me the years that I was getting that day, and as the judge was just like, well, I remember when I was getting sentenced. I'm not sure if it was that same day or not, but I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it had to have been, because they were like, we find you guilty for first-degree murder. We find you guilty for attempted murder. So it was 4 counts, you know. And so when he was reading off the time, and they they sentenced me not concurrently, but consecutively, so back to back to back. And I was just listening to this, and I was just like, this is ridiculous, you know, like, you know, like I said, at the time, I was angry, I was entitled, I was selfish, I was callous, and so I'm just like, that's who I was, and just listening to the judge give all these years out, I'm just like inside, I'm like laughing, angry, like thinking like how you expect me to serve this sentence, you know, 170 years to life. And so yeah, when they were giving me those numbers, I just found it funny, man. Like during that time, you know. Now it's just like, you know, it was justified. It was fair. You know, it was, at the end of the day, it was a fair sentence. And so yeah, but that during that time though, that's just how I was taking it all in, like just laughing, like, really, like, are you serious, you know? Yeah.
So, do you remember what you were feeling when you walked back into the holding tanks? And did they, at that time, were they separating people once they got sentenced? Because I recall, you know, once being in those tanks, and a dude, he got sentenced to life, and the deputies came in, they separated him from GP, and ended up shackling him up. They ended up like putting the waist chains and whatnot, and putting him in a different place.
Nah, they didn't do none of that. They just threw me back in the tank, and yeah, that was pretty much it. It's just like I got my sentence. Actually, now that I remember correctly, I end up I swear I got sentenced afterwards, but I'm not sure. Anyhow, but yeah, no, I don't remember ever getting separated from any of the population at the time when I got my verdict or when I got sentenced.
Okay.
Yeah, they just threw me in there with everybody, and man, I was sad. You know, I was broken at the time. I felt, you know, destroyed. Like damn, that's it. But it felt like, you know, during that time it was like, of course, during my whole case, my trial, is like, keep the hope alive, let's keep the faith that you know, that you're gonna get out. And so it didn't really sink in all the way. It took time, and it didn't really start sinking in until I got to prison. Like damn, like I'm gonna die in here, you know, like my sentence, like there's no way, you know. And so, but during that time, it was like, well, we still got my appeal, and you know, we still got you know, basically my appeal. We still got the state appeal, the federal appeal, and so we were kind of hoping on that, you know. And so it didn't really sink in, but but guilty I was, man, and I was sentenced to die in here.
And ultimately, when you were sentenced, and we got a question here from Alex, man. Your sentence was run consecutive, right, instead of concurrent?
Yeah. So they gave me 25 to life for the case. They gave me 25 to life for the gang, and then for the weapon, they gave me like, I don't know, like another 15. I'm not even sure how it all got sentenced, but it was like 25 plus 25 so 50 for the gun and gang, and then another 15 for the attempts, and then another 10 on top of that. And so it was just, at the end of the day, it turned out to like 170 years to life. So my date right now is like, or for a long time, it was 2,176. That was my parole date.
Damn.
Yeah. And rightfully so, man. Like I'm not complaining. I'm still alive, you know. My victim's not.
Man, yeah. I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow. But ultimately, I mean, you can't blame anybody else. And at any point, did you ever blame anybody else for, for your actions or for the life that you got involved in?
Well, I mean, during that time, of course, it was everybody else's fault but my own. You know, like this girl should never took me there. I wish that I had better role models. If I wasn't, if I had better influences in my life, then I probably wouldn't have made these choices, and it was just like the blame game. You know, it was everybody else's fault but mine, and that was what it was at the time. But now, looking back on it now, and it was like, nah, man, like yeah, there might have been some factors that played a role in your influence, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that made the decisions. You know, I chose the easy route instead of doing the hard work and choosing, making better choices, making way better decisions. You know, so yeah, for a long time there was a lot of blame. You know, for sure.
And once you got sentenced, how long did it take? How long did it take for you to actually go to prison? And what reception did you end up going to?
Yeah, so I got sentenced. I got sentenced March 28th, 2008, and I was in Wasco reception by April 10th. So like about, not even that long, probably about less than a month. Yeah, I was gone quick. I caught the chain, and yeah, I was outros. I was on my way. I was on my way to prison, man, with a life sentence, you know. And yeah, and it was crazy because with that sentence too, like once I got sentenced, everybody's like, well, you're probably gonna end up in Pelican Bay, or you're gonna end up in high desert. It was like, but you're going to a level 4 180 yard. And then I'm just like, damn. And it's it's rocking and rolling. So just beware. And it was like, everybody's giving me like advice, not good advice, some, and it's like, you're just taking, I'm 19. Well, by that time I'm like, what, 21. I had just turned 21 because I had been fighting my case for 2 years, or 20. And so yeah, you're taking it all in, and it's like, and you're a lifer, so it's like, you just be ready, to go have put in some work and all this other stuff, man. And it was like, shoot, like, man, I hope it ain't like that, but they were right, man. They were right. I ended up in Wasco, and for sure they ended up sending me to high desert. So they were absolutely right about that.
Man, I was
Yeah, it
saying
looks like.
they got us again. I mean, if you got it, we could do one more. It's up to you, however you feel. If not, then we could jump on the phone.
For sure. Yeah, we got like till 8:25 before they shut these things off, so I could call you up for like 8 more minutes.
Okay, that'll work. And then we got a question here from an ICEMAN. He's asking, has he appealed the sentencing, or will new laws change it? Man, El ICEMAN, he's always ahead of the game.
Yeah. So my appeal didn't fall through. I ended up and man, and I guess I could share some of that too. Right now when I call back, but yeah. Whatchamacallit, yeah, some laws did come into effect for me. Some youth offender laws came into effect for me in like 2016, and I ended up getting a youth offender parole date.
All right, so this call just came to an end. Let me go ahead and put that away. I'm hoping when I speak, my audio is not off. I still haven't checked it because I really don't do that many appearances, man. And I gotta check what I got in my background, make sure I don't got anything that because I wasn't thinking about turning on the camera, but I turned it on by accident a little bit earlier on. So what the hell, what, right? So right now he should be calling back. Once he calls back, let me turn on this recording right here. Once he calls back, we'll go ahead and. Oh man, Eric says he's muy rápido. And let me see here. Okay. Oops. All right, let me get him back on the screen over here. All
Yo.
right. Yeah. So all right, cool. We're back.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a bunch of laws that started coming out. Once they started working on this like prison reform and having to lower the population and all that, and like new policy and things like that. And the governor too, man. He's been very supportive of a lot of these changes. Of second chances and things like that. So when Senate Bill 261 passed, which made youth offenders who committed their crime before the age of, at first it was before the age of 23, and then it went up to 26. But I qualified for both of those. So it turned my sentence into, well, I still have my sentence. Like, I haven't got resentenced. Like, my actual sentence is still there, but it gave me a youth parole eligible date of 25 years. So once I got 25 in, I'll have the opportunity. I'll be eligible to see the board of parole and see if I can be found suitable, man, to get back out to society. God willing.
And did you physically have to go back into court, or was that done over video visit?
No, none of that. It was done through through CDCR. They send you they pretty much sent me a paper. While I was in Tehachapi, they sent me a paper and they just told me like, hey, your youth parole eligible date is 2030, and back then it was like August at that time, August 2030.
And do you remember what you felt once you got that news?
Oh man, I was yeah, man, I was excited. I was happy. I just felt so grateful. I felt like a tremendous amount of gratitude for it. However, even when I got that news, I was messing up during that time still a little bit, So it was like cool. Like I was still having my addiction. I had relapse, and so it was like that happened. But it was like, are you ready? And it was like, yeah, I'm ready. Of course, hell yeah, I'm ready to get out any day. You could have told me the day after I got sentenced if I was ready, and I would have been like, yup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So And so when that came about, I was like, damn, I have an opportunity, I have a second chance, and also like I had already been working on myself. It was just one of my my hardest struggles during the time was my addiction, my addiction, and so when I got the news, I was still in my addiction, I was still drinking, I was still using drugs and things like that, and so uh, it was like cool, but then it was kind of scary too because it was like, man, are you ready? And back then I wasn't ready. I know I thought I was, but I definitely wasn't. Now, if you'd ask me that now, absolutely, absolutely, I'm ready, and I got the track record to prove it. You know, so yeah, that was like, and that didn't come about until like uh like 2015, 2015, 16 around there when I got that paper in the mail, and because when I like when I came upstate, I squandered probably like the first 10 years of my sentence on nonsense, on on the negative stuff, on destructive lifestyle and you know all the nonsense that goes on in here with uh with politics and things like that at first, and then even after I transitioned, right? Because I got myself into like a little bit of trouble. I got myself in trouble, and so I was not about to face the music because I didn't think it was worth it, and so that's kind of where like my change began. I started making little. I was thinking, like if I remove myself from this environment, then I'll be all right. I'll be changed, but that wasn't true either. It wasn't about geographic location. It was about getting my mind and my heart to align, and that didn't happen until years after like continuing to work on myself and figure myself out and understand, understand myself and finding myself. And so it took its time, man. It was a process, but I think this is gonna be it for us right here because they already gave us like the warning. So
All right.
yeah, man.
Yep. So if you want to try it on the tablet, you check if it works. If it doesn't work, when you call back, then I guess we could always try. We could always try tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try calling you on my tablet and see how that goes.
Okay, cool.
But all right, Jane.
All right, cool, man. Thank you. All right, so he's gonna be calling back right now. Let me just make some changes right here. There we go. And Rosa, she put a little corazoncito and she took it away. It vanished. Message retracted. All right. And so right now we're just gonna go ahead and wait. I know. Oh, let me stop this here. I know the way you guys are used to seeing these video visits. They're a little bit. I normally have them a little bit better set up, like I said. But I've been having some issues with the program that I use, to get these images on the screen. And I do have another computer that I normally use. I switch in between two computers. All right. We got some
This
tape.
call is now being
Esta es
recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right.
We're back online.
Yup. And you're just showing up right now. You missed the video visits. We did 3 video visits with Eric. And lovely Sunshine, she just got in here. She writes, "Hi all, tuning in super late into the call." Yeah, you're late. Better late than ever, I guess is what they say around here.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Better late than never.
Yeah.
You know.
So right now, you were right before the video visit was cut off. You were mentioning about your transformation, and do you recall what year that was in?
So, man, my turning point was actually in it was in like 2014 when it actually it started. You know, and the way that it begun was with me coming back down to court, me going back to back to court, coming back down to my area and going to my court and for an evidentiary hearing on my federal appeal. So it's so it's man it's crazy to think about how dysfunctional I was, you know, and I'm just so grateful that even in all my tries and in all my efforts to undermine authority and justice, I'm just so grateful that I was unsuccessful in any of it because that.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
It definitely wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good at all. So, like I was mentioning earlier, when this is what happened, right? So the day that I get found guilty in county, in court, I get found guilty, and it so happens that one of my actual victims for my crime was at court with me that day, you know, and I knew this the whole time. Like I seen him, he introduced himself, and he was from the lifestyle, and I was just like, oh shoot, like this is what I'm incarcerated for. Like this is part of this dude's, he's one of my victims, you know, and so when I was just like, man, I'm just like, should I say something? Should I not? And I was just like, for what? You know, like, you might just beat this case right now and go home. And it's like, no problem, you know, just simple as that and whatever. And so it happens that I don't beat my case. I get found guilty that day, and I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm in pain. I'm hurting, and you know, I'm just like in the worst possible state at the time. And so when I came back to the holding tanks, he's there, you know, he's still there. And so I go up to him and I'm like, and pretty much like looking back at it now, like I was trying to provoke this individual, you know, because I went down there and I'm just like, hey, you know, such and such, and he's just like, no, and he's like, what about such and such? And I'm just questioning. I'm asking him questions, and he's like, no, I don't nah, I know who that is. He's like, what's that got to do with me? And then I'm just like, well, because I just got found guilty for some stuff that happened over here and over there again. Because I already knew who he was, so I knew that once, like I said this, he was gonna be like, what? And so yeah, like I was looking for a fight, you know. I was looking to act out, you know, act out my pain. And so, he finally he's like, what? Like, you're locked up for something that happened over here and that, and he starts giving me details, and I'm like, yeah, exactly. And he looks at me, and he just looks like, he just goes like, man, he goes, I got shot that day. And I'm like, oh shoot, right? I'm acting like, oh shoot. So I get up, and I'm just like, all right, like we're gonna get busy, you know. And so he's like, man, he just looks at me, and he's just like, that's crazy. And he's just like, man, he's like, don't trip. I'm not tripping. He's like, that's part of the game. I'm gonna chalk it up to the game, you know. We're in here now. It's a whole different game now. And like, if you're familiar with, you know, how things run in here, is like, we're homies now, you know, in other words, in here. And so he just took it as that, and I was surprised. I was like, what? Like, I was like, oh, okay, shoot. And so we started talking, and here I go with my, and I'm surprised by how we reacted and how everything was like how it turned out, and I was just like, oh shit, like this is crazy. And so so as we're talking, he shares like what he's incarcerated for, and you know, things like that, and I'm just like okay, like kind of like surprised, you know, like how it's turning out. And he tells me like, man, if I would have known you before this, he's like, 'cause they asked me to, you know, and we're criminals. You know, we've been criminals. We had that criminal mentality, try to get away with anything we can, however we can, and it was like, you know, the criminal code and all of that stuff, you know. And so he tells me like, man, if I would have known that that it was you and we would have had this conversation before, like they asked me to testify, and I told them, Charles, you know, like I'm not gonna do that and things like that. And he's like, but if I would have known, like I would have gone up there and I would have just been like, nah, I seen who did it and it wasn't this individual. And I was just like, what? Right? I'm just like, you got to be kidding me, you know? And so I'm just like, this is crazy. Like I'm just like flabbergasted by his statement. And like I said, you know, I just got sentenced to 170 years to life. I don't know what to expect. It's just all bad for me. It's all downhill. And so I'm just like, man, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And so I'm just like, man, hold on to that thought, man, because if that's the case, I still got my appeal. And so we'll see what's up with that, you know. And so, like I said, there I go with my criminal thinking and my get away with anything I can and not hold myself accountable or responsible for anything. And so with that I ran with it. And so long story short, in 2014, well, in 2010 I lost my state appeal, and I went to my federal appeal. And so I brought up that claim. I said I brought up that claim, you know, trying to undermine the courts and the whole system and things like that, and freaking and so it freaking worked, dude. Like I brought up that this guy told me this on this date and that, and next thing you know, in 2014 I'm going back to court for an evidentiary hearing to see all of this, to see if all of this is true. You know, they're taking him back because he lost trial. He ended up getting life, and then I got life, and then we happen to be at the same prison. Just he's on another yard and I'm on another yard, and so they take us back, and man, and thank God, you know, I thank God that it didn't work out in my favor, but we end up going back, and we have my evidentiary hearing. I have my appellate attorney, my federal attorney there with me. And she's talking to me, and she's like, yeah, so we're going to take him up there and this and that. And he ends up saying that, and so we go into the courtroom, and of course they question him and things like that. And he just ends up saying that I don't recall this happening and things like that. And I remember during that time too, like, because like I said, this was like a turning point. Like my transformation was barely beginning. Like it was getting there, you know. I think that's what really was a turning point for me, was that I was trying to do good. I was trying to change. I was trying to change my ways, my destructive behavior, and I was trying to leave my addiction and things like that. And so I remember I was just like, man, I remember thinking to myself, how am I supposed to, because I'm praying to God, like, man, like, and I'm thinking to myself, how am I supposed to pray about this? Like, how am I supposed to ask God, hey, you know, please allow this man to swear under oath, you know, under your name, you know, to lie for me so that I could get out. And so I found myself like conflicted, like in a way, like damn, like how's like, and so when I found myself in that situation, I started questioning a lot of things. I started questioning a lot of what I believed, what my values were, and things like that. And I was just like, man, this is crazy. This makes no sense. Like, you know, and so when we went back to court, nothing came about it. Like I said, thank God, it didn't work. You know, I was unsuccessful in my tries, and so we like I said, I couldn't pray about it, and so that was really messing with me, messing with my head, like questioning a lot of myself, and so that kind of what did it for me. And so what ends up happening is that he says he doesn't recall, and we're there in court and whatever. And so after our hearing, I see him, and I look at him, and I'm like, what's up, man? Like what happened, you know? And he's just telling me like he's like, my bad, you know, like, 'cause he's in an attorney room, and I'm in a holding tank, and I'm looking at him through like the little window on the door, and he's just like, my bad, like I couldn't do it, like he was trying to tell me something, you know, he's trying to tell me some stuff, and I really don't understand what he's saying, but I'm just like, whatever, it's all right, you know, like don't sweat it, like I already knew this was too good to be true anyways, in other words. And so when we get so whatever that happens, and then so like within that week, I'm getting brought back to prison. I'm in Kern Valley State Prison, level 4 180 yard, and we end up coming back together. We're just on different yards, right? And so I get to see him on the bus. And we're transferring together, coming all the way back. And I get to talking to him. And when I get to talking to him, and we start.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Conversing about this whole situation, he tells me his reasons why. And things like that. But I'm not even looking for an explanation or anything like that. I'm not even tripping. I'm not even mad at him. I'm not. None of that, you know. It was just another one of my failed attempts of getting away with murder, you know, at the end of the day. And so when I got to talking to him, though, I started realizing, like, dude, like, you know, he apologizes for not being able to do that and things like that, and he gives me his reasons, and I just told him, like, man, it's all right, bro, like, it's all good, man. And we start talking, and I'm just like, man, how you been? You know, like, how's your case, and would you get sentenced and things like that, and we're just chopping it up, man, like if we knew, like if we were like friends or something, you know, and keep it.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Like, this is somebody who was who I believed, you know, he was my enemy, and here we are hitting it off, talking, and getting along, and as I started realizing these things, it started like hitting me, like, man, this dude is no different from me, and here I was, you know, and here we are out there, you know, trying to take each other's lives for what, you know. And so that's kind of what did it for me, that I started to question a lot of things, and I think it's gonna hang up, so I'm gonna have to call you back.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Call back. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so man, I'm glad the service is Garbage Tail Link is really, you know, starting to pick up their quality of service, at least for this call. You know, I don't know about any other day, but shit, I'll take it for now. You know, that's all I ask for. You know, give me some nice clean audio, and we'll be good. You know, I'll still keep on dragging their name through the mud. That's not gonna change, because by now they should have been had this under control. You know, it's been months upon months of them, you know, with the same thing. So Go ahead and spend some of those millions you guys, the state of California is giving you. Upgrade your servers. Do something instead of buying yachts and mansions and whatnot for your families. Well, I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to GTL if they ever come across this. Man, that's his whole journey. It's a trip, that he bumped into his one of his victims, and that he even said that like that he wouldn't if he would have known it was him, he would have said that he didn't. All right, there goes a song.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
This call
un
is now being
individuo
recorded.
encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, what's up, James? Yeah, man, so it was during that bus ride back where I got to meet and speak to an individual whose life I almost took, and thank God that I didn't, man, because it was already bad enough with one, and that just would have yeah.
And do you recall what kind of case he was fighting?
Yeah, he ended up getting found guilty for like 2 attempts or something like that. And so that's another, that's part of the ripple effect right there, man. That's part of the cycle of violence, the perpetual cycle of violence, I committed violence on him, and so there he goes out, either trying to commit violence on me or others, who were in that lifestyle. And so it just that perpetual cycle. It was like, it was just violence on violence, and so he ended up fighting this case of 2 attempts, and him and I think he had a co-defendant as well, and they both ended up getting washed up. They both ended up getting life, and and I remember him telling me too, like yeah, man, like I got busted because we were out looking for you guys, and we just ran into somebody else at the time, and so that's what, and so it was like other dudes got it, and it was like, man, like thinking back on that stuff, like, reflecting on it is sad, man, we're out, just out there hurting each other, and for no reason other than being taught to believe that these people are your enemies, and that these people just have something coming, and for what? Probably we never met each other in our lives, and so it was like it's so it's ridiculous to think about,
Yeah.
and very sad.
Yeah, just imagine if we would have invested our time and energy into something positive.
Man, absolutely, and that's what I go back to now, and it's like that's what has happened after the fact, with me, and others who have like woken up to the realities of these things. And so absolutely, I think back like, man, if I would have applied myself to other things, like I applied myself to that, like, man, it would have been, it would have been a positive ripple effect, you know. It would have changed lives for the better, you know, or I would have created more healing than hurt, you know.
Yeah.
So absolutely, yeah, and that's what keeps me driven now, you know. That's just thinking just like that, like applying myself to the things that I apply myself to now, you know, education, being of service, proactive, pro-social behaviors, you know, things like that, and you do that through actions, you know, what you get yourself involved in, and so that's what I've dedicated my life to now, you know, just make sure that person who I used to be never comes back out again, you know. But this person now, who I am now, who's understood, you know, the impact of my life, not just my crime, but my lifestyle, and has tried and has worked to correct that behavior, that thinking, that mentality. That's who I am now, you know. I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. I could. No. That was on me right there. I put it on mute because I was printing something out right now, and I didn't want that noise in the background.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good, man.
Yeah.
But man, you definitely come a long way.
Yeah, man. Thank God. I mean, all glory to God, man, because I sure as hell didn't do it by myself. It was he put me in the right positions, in the right places, and allowed me to go through certain experiences that have allowed me to reflect on things and question things. Like, the biggest thing was questioning myself, my beliefs, you know, and seeing if they were accurate, if they were right, if they were righteous. And so in doing these things and in questioning myself and trying to make sense of things that didn't make no sense, because at some point it all made sense. You know, I found value in the lifestyle. I found worth, and I found identity and things like that. And so when it came down to like is this really, you know, like, does this really fulfill your life? Does that really bring you peace of mind? Does it bring you happiness? You know, and it's like, hell nah, it brought me a lifetime of pain and a lifetime of pain on others. You know, is this a good path? You know, and like I kept saying, like, you know, I had that, you know, growing up, it was like what was good was bad and what was bad was good. And so it wasn't until I started questioning that mentality that I started realizing, like, whoa, hold on, wait.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Is that really good, you know? And realizing that it wasn't, and it's like, no, hell no, it's not good, you know? It's not good to hurt other people, you know, no matter what your reasons are, you know? Even if you think that you're doing it for a certain reason, for a certain cause, or, you know, and whatnot. It's like, no, absolutely not. It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong to infringe on the rights of others. You know?
You know, sometimes I think to myself, what has this person that's committing all these acts of violence, constantly back to back for no reason, like what have they gone through in their lives that makes them, think that it's okay, for them to, inflict all this pain on other people, for no other reason than just because they can.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, and it all goes back to um, a learned behavior. A lot of it's a learned behavior, which normalized um, in your life growing up, and some of the traumatic events that one goes through, and things like that. They kind of shape you to become that monster, But not to say that as an excuse, but there were certain factors that ultimately made me believe that this behavior was acceptable, because it was wrong. However, it was still acceptable in the circle that I found myself in, And so if you got people patting you on your back for committing violence or whatever negative things that you're into, selling drugs or stealing or things like that, and it's like, yeah, that's right, homie, and and you kind of lack that growing up. It's like, all right, like, cool, you start to believe these things as good, like, all these things they're fulfilling something for me, and so you choose to embrace that. Well, I chose to embrace it. Better so.
Yeah. Let me ask you something.
Man.
So, um, before you were speaking about bumping into to one of your victims, um, somebody just asked a question here on the chat here, and she goes by lovely sunshine. She's asking, what would happen if someone is incarcerated with a victim? So in this case, do you want to? I know you mentioned a little bit earlier on where your enemies on the street are your friends in the inside.
Yeah.
Would you kind of like want to like shed some light on that? Like would you happen to know like what the reasoning behind that is?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So you get in here. When you get in here, it's all your individuality goes out the window. Like whatever hood you were from, whenever if you were from a certain side of California or a certain place, it's like you all ran together. Like you were no longer enemies. You were now part of one big group, and the reason being is because in here it's about race and factions and cars, that that were created in order to I guess initially it was like a survival mode. It's the only way to survive is to be together. And so all that stuff that I once believed in the streets, as far as like, oh, this dude's my enemy, like 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 it's off with his head, if I had the chance in the streets or things like that. Or you come in here and it's like, nope, not no more. There's certain rules and regulations and things you gotta follow that are being enforced in here by a big group, and so that's just the table's turning here. It's more like we all stick together to survive in here, you know, to be the strongest. What is it?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And so yeah, that's just what it is in here. All that other stuff goes out the window, and now you're like we gotta have each other.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
You know, because it's very much racial in here, and so yeah, so everybody sticks to their race and whatever faction that they decide to run with. And so, like I said, me and this individual, we were now to be friends, to be homies, you know, to have each other's back when in the streets we were out there trying to take each other out. But I'll answer her question as well when I call back.
All right, cool. Hey, thank you, Eric. Really appreciate it. We'll be here. We'll be waiting, and I'm gonna say a little prayer that this excellent phone service stays the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so this call is you know, they normally only run 15 minutes or so, and we definitely we've blown through many of these 15-minute phone calls. I think we're about to be hitting 2 hours. Man, like Eric, it doesn't even feel like I've been out here for 2 hours. Well, an hour and 56 minutes, you know, we just ran that off to 2 hours. But I'm definitely you know, I'm definitely captivated by his journey. And I didn't see that coming, you know, when he mentioned that he, you know, he was in the same holding tank as one of the victims. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? They should have had a keep away. They should have not been in the same area. But you know, these things happen. You know, a lot of the times when you're in county jail, you know, or prison too. You come into contact with people you shouldn't be around, and bad things happened. Luckily for neither of these gentlemen, you know, that didn't end up happening, and man, they ended up building some type of bond. There we go.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5. Oh.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Hello.
All right.
Yo.
Yep.
Yeah, so the question was if you have an enemy in here, like I mean, or a victim, right? And or one of your victims is in here, and you're there, if it's documented and it's made aware of by, like, you know, if it's like in the person's file, then they usually they usually keep them away from each other. You know, like they'll be keepaways. You know, they'll be it'll come up in the system, and it's like, oh, you can't be on that yard because you have, you know, then they're actually in your seat file. They're like, they're put as an enemy in here, like you have an enemy on this yard. You can't go to the yard because this guy's there or whatnot. But not to say that. Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. It was I was messing with my phone, and I did a video record of our video visit earlier on. That was you talking right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
my apologies for derailing you right there.
No, it's all good, man. You gotta get it done. Working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get my good side. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So like, yeah. So if it's documented and it's on file, then they'll know to keep you guys away from each other, and so you won't ever be able to run into each other, unless something happens where it's like you guys are both going to the same yard, and whatever the reasons are that they have you documented as enemies, you can if it's depending on what it is, sometimes you'll be able to sign off on each other. Like, hey, look, I know you're trying to go to this yard. However, you have this person there that's on your enemy list. So, only way you'll be able to be transferred there or be allowed to get on that yard is if like you guys sign off, and then you got to make that decision. Like, are you guys cool, or do you still want to be kept away from this individual, or does it matter to you and things like that? And so you could sign off eventually, like if in certain situations, certain cases, like you could sign off on a person, like unless it's like a certain like case, like mine for instance, like my violent case like that, like they probably won't ever do that, you know. Because even when I went to court, they had us in different cages, you know.
Yeah. And at that time, were people fighting in the courtroom cells? Like if you were running to your
yeah,
yeah,
heck yeah, yeah. People, you know, that was
it was
the
permitted
loophole.
there. Yeah, the gray area.
Yeah,
It
that
was the
was the
gray area.
loophole. Yeah, that was the gray area. Exactly. Yeah, you know, like oh yeah, it's cracking at court. You know, no holds bar. It's like right there. It's freebies all day. You know, you're not in county, you're in court or whatever. And so, yeah, it was happening. It was happening. Sometimes fools will get caught up, you know, and they'll get back to the county, and it's like, you know, depending like who you got into it with and things like that. But yeah, it was most definitely happening.
You know what? I never seen that. I've never like that was when I heard that I was like, man, you know, I never saw that when I went to court, man. I guess all the court times I ended up with in the everybody was kumbaya and all everything was good. I never seen that, so like, man, good thing I didn't, because I could have just imagined those man, it was nothing but concrete and and those metal benches they had. So it would, I'm pretty sure it would, if you fall down, it was gonna be a bad time.
For sure, most definitely. Yeah. It get ugly in there real quick, and then if you even, and let's say like, for example, I remember I had a cellie in the county who had a crimey, but they were keepaways, and so the court that they were going to was like the worst court to be going to, because
Norwalk?
mainly it was all his enemies. No, this was San Fernando.
Oh, okay.
And right, San Fernando court. He was going to San Fernando court.
Yeah.
And it was like every time he went, it was like he knew he was going to catch the blues, because he would always run into like he would always be outnumbered.
Yeah.
You know, it'd just be like 1 to 3, because there'll be other guys in there that are like fighting their case as well, and it's like 3 crimies, and they're not keepaways, and they're all together.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and so I used to be like, damn. I used to tell him like, man, fool, like it sucks, you know. He's like, it's all good, it is, you know, and so it was crazy. It was crazy like that. But I used to feel bad for him, man. I used to be like, man, that's messed up. Because he'd come back sometimes, and sometimes he nothing would happen, and then other times it'd be like, yeah, man, that fool jumped me and shit. You know, they didn't want to see me head up, and things like that. You know, you come back with that kind of story. But yeah, it was definitely happening.
Man, you know what, man, you know, you'll see stuff like that happen even in Wayside or in or the old county. Like if let's say there would be like a certain neighborhood, and they would be deep, and they would be doing some outrageous stuff, like stuff that you normally wouldn't get away with. They would be doing that. Like if their enemy showed up, man, they'll be. I remember there was this one time there was this one kid, and
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
they were saying he was in violation of everything. So every time he would do something, he caught a violation. So they made him they were making him do burpees. They made him do so many burpees that he couldn't even move anymore. So since he couldn't complete his burpees, they ended up jumping on him, and it was all bad. It was all bad for him.
Oh yeah,
But-
for real, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah, they would try to do that kind of stuff. I used to just be like, you know what? I rather just take my calentada.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but fortunately though, I didn't find myself in those kind of situations like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to do none of that. But yeah, it was it's so funny, man. To think of it like it's so crazy, you know, in a funny way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very unfortunate, man. The positions that we put ourselves in, you know. But yeah.
Hey, so let me ask you. So, when you would you like to get into like the whole process of what happens when you decide to walk away? What was it that you did, and like what that process was like? Going through AgSeg and then finally ending up on the other side.
Yeah. I don't mind sharing that. And so basically for me, like I came into this system, right? Like when I came in, my mentality, was nobody could tell me nothing. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do, and things like that. So I already came in like going against the grain, as you would say, from the jump. And so with that kind of attitude,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I always find myself like not agreeing with a lot of stuff, and so the way it happened for me was that just I kept finding getting myself in trouble, man. Honestly, that's really what it was. I kept doing things that were not, that I was always being bringing attention to myself and things like that. And so, like I said, like I didn't agree with a lot of stuff, and of course, like I was like screw that, like that was kind of like my mentality, like man, these fools, and then I saw a lot of stuff that was like that I didn't agree with, so ultimately after getting into so many predicaments with my attitude, I found myself in a worse, I pretty much found myself in a worse situation when I was already in the hole. And so I had been getting in trouble since I came in. Like I was young too, and so I was just like screw that, Like I thought I knew it all, and can't nobody tell me nothing. And so that was my attitude at the time. And so in the hole was where I found myself in another one of those situations, and it so happened that the celly I had was in a position, and I didn't agree with some of the stuff that how in the way he conducted himself, and so I ended up taking flat on him, man. I end up taking off on them and things like that. And there I go, like that's a definite no. If you're in on that side and you're living that lifestyle. And he was in a place of position, and so it was like after that, we got into it. We got into it bad, and yeah, it got ugly. And so we ended up getting caught, and they separated us, and things like that. And so, and we were freaking, we were drunk at the same time. It just bad all around. Like, now you're drunk, and now you're drinking and fighting, and you're creating this whole spectacle, and then there's others that are witnessing this, so now you're making us look bad, and things like that. And I had already had priors for that kind of behavior coming in. I was all messed up, and so finding myself in that position, that situation was like damn, I already done it this time, and especially because this wasn't just anybody, and ultimately I had to make that. I really didn't want to. But I was just like again, you find yourself in these forks in the road, and you think like, damn, like what's my, which way should I go? What's the best possible choice I can make in here? And to this day, I think that was the best decision I could have made when I just said, you know what, because I already knew what I had coming, and it wasn't going to be nice, and it was like, am I gonna accept getting stabbed, getting poked up, like, and be fine with it, like, all right, like, like that was gonna be my repercussions, my consequences to, all right, now you're good. And so
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
fear in the decisions and things like that, and it was just like, and majorly like contemplated on it for like a long time, like a while, because it didn't just happen like, all right, I'm done. It was like, nah, like, hell no, like, and then it was like questioning yourself, like, are you serious? Like, why would you be willing to continue on with this? And like, you believe, like, I think I gotta call you back. Call you back so I won't get cut off.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
That'll work. All right, so 15 minutes were up. He's gonna go ahead and give us all a call back, and we'll go ahead and continue, man. We already hit the 2-hour mark. We're at 2 hours and 12 minutes, and if you've been in here since that time, hey, appreciate it. Salute to you, and for being able to listening to this conversation for that amount of time. Anyhow, right now when he calls back, he's getting into the moment that he walked away, and pretty much the events that led him to make that decision. And I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision, because it's definitely instilled into you that you don't wanna go to that side, if you will. All right, and I did a screen record on that video visit that we had, or the 3 that we had. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit them, and most likely upload them onto TikTok. All right, here we go.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yo.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. Uh-huh. Yeah, so like I was saying, yeah, so I like I steadily found myself in these predicaments, man, where I was just getting in trouble. I was always going against somebody or something that I didn't feel was right, and I kind of found myself in that position while being in the hole for committing violent acts and things like that, and so it's so crazy because I remember the first yard I went to in prison, like getting on these 180s, and I remember somebody somebody pulling me aside, and it's one of the guys that kind of had was in position as well, like as far as like not up there, but just running things, you know, and he pulled me to the side, and I remember him telling me we were in yard. And he ends up telling me he puts his arm around my shoulder. I remember this like yesterday. And he puts his arm around my shoulder, and he looks at the yard, and he tells me like, "You see all this?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." And he's just like, "This right here, this is your streets. You know, all that stuff outside behind these walls, forget about it. You know, this is where you live now. This is your life." And he's like, and you see all the people here, and he pointed like towards certain areas and things like that, and he's like, that's your family. So don't preoccupy yourself with worrying about things on the outside. Like, this is your life now. And then he just went on. He like kept telling me and he goes into, when you go to the back and you hit the shoe, that's prison. But these are your streets, and this is your family. So all that other stuff that you might be having, you know, that might be preoccupying your mind, like, you need to let that go, because this is what it is now. You know, I remember that too, and I was just like, what? And I was thinking to myself, like, in a way, I'm like, this is like, in a way, I was like, yeah, this fool crazy as hell, right? In my head. But then I'm just like, man, at the same time, I'm just like kind of believing it in a way, you know? And so I kind of went off of that. I started basing a lot of my decisions on that. Like, this is true. You know, I took it as like, this is true. This is my life, and this is the way I should see things. And so I went about doing my time in that manner. And so I felt like I had the right to speak up and things like that. You know, if this is my family, you know, like, I should have say, you know, I should have work, but it don't work that way. Like you're just a pawn in a chess. And so yeah, like I said, so yeah, I found myself in the back in the hole, and like I said, I found myself in a situation where I was just like, do you face the music? Do you take what you got coming, or do you just hang up the gloves? And man, it was hard. It was difficult making that decision, because this was my identity, you know. This was where I found worth in, you know. This is what brought me value, I felt like, you know. And so it was just like, nah, like I can't do this, you know, like, hell no, like, what do people think of me, you know, like, who would I be if this is all I am? Like, this is what I thought this was all my life was worth, you know, like, this is what it was, you know, this lifestyle, this in here, and trying to make something of yourself, right? It's so ridiculous to think about. Yeah, I want to be somebody in prison, but, you know, that's just what it was. Not to talk trash or anything like that. Like, I get it, you know. Like, I totally understand how it works, you know. And so yeah, like, I ended up being like, you know what?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I remember I was like, bam, and eventually they just came and snatched me up. They came and grabbed me, and they pulled me out, and they had a bunch of kites in their hand. The gang investigators in here and stuff like that, and they just told me like look, man, like your name's in here, you know, and we know who you are, and we know what's going on with you and stuff like that. And so, yeah, man, I ended up having to go through the process of transitioning, of calling it quits, man, and it was like one of the hardest things I did, you know. But I felt ashamed. I felt embarrassed. I felt humiliated because I was so ingrained. Like all this stuff was so ingrained in me. It was like it's who I was, and if I wasn't that, then who would I become? And thank God, because of that, it was what led me to start. You know, of course, it didn't happen overnight, but it's what led me to start figuring that stuff out, to start trying to find myself. But I also made the misconception that well, if I did this, you know, all my problems would be solved. I wouldn't have to listen to nobody no more. I could just, you know, I ain't got to deal with none of that negativity and all that stuff, and I could just, you know, kick it with my feet up, and everything's gonna be good, you know, like I ain't gonna have to worry about so much. Hell nah, man, it got worse. It got, you know, it was, you know, you think I thought that, you know, but the reality of it is, whether here or there, the same mentalities are in both places. You know, the same destructiveness, the same negativity. You know, it's you find it everywhere. And so that was my mistaken belief. You know, like, yeah, I'm just gonna go kick it, but hell nah, it wasn't like that. It was still the same things. You know, it was still the same things, and you still found people with the same mentalities and things like that. So coming over, it was like bunch of people that were there are here now, you know. And so it was the same thing, and it was just like another place, and it still breeded negativity, it still breeded violence, and especially if you're on these 180s and level 4s and stuff like that. The stuff was just still the same. It was just a little different now, you know. But now, at least, you had a choice, and of course we had a choice before then, but it wasn't put out there like that, you know, because you always had that choice of like being cool with it, but it just seemed so I don't know, it just didn't stick out to you like that choice is there, you know. It kind of felt like I didn't have a choice, but of course the choice was there. I just never entertained it, you know. And so now, you know, once you make that decision, or once I made that decision, man, I went through like a whole identity crisis. I had lost purpose. You know, I wasn't part of the same stuff that I was, you know, part of before. That camaraderie was gone, and it was like you were on your own. And so, transitioning was difficult, but like I said, it wasn't really no different because you end up finding the same kind of people, and so that's what I gravitated towards, what I knew. And I started hanging out with people that were up to no good, that were still, you know, using drugs, acting out in violence, and, you know, under that pretense that, you know, we're here together and things like that. And so that's kind of what happened with me in my in coming over, you know.
Hey, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
I almost blew out my eardrums because I was trying to put in a wireless headset on, and I plugged it in,
Oh,
and when I plugged it in, I got like this loud, really staticky noise. I was like, oh man, I just messed up this whole stream. But luckily, that noise that I got on my headphones, it didn't go over to you or to the stream. So, and then I was like, man, what am I gonna do? I can't plug the headphones on. This thing is like it's like really loud, staticky noise. I think I probably I did some type of damage to my eardrums right now. But then I was like, hold on, let me try to hook
oh
it up right
man.
now. So I was like, man, I wonder if you could hear me. So that's why I wanted to double check to make sure we were still good, man. But man, so
Yeah,
that's a trip. So when you switched over, you thought that it was gonna be like all nice and lovely. It was gonna be a whole different place. But man, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still prison, and a lot of these people still have that same mentality. So you found out quickly
exactly.
that it was the same thing, just just different names, and I'm sure they operate just a tad differently than the other side.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly like that, James. Um, exactly. Yep.
And what year was this that you decided to hang up the gloves and walk away?
Just like in 2012.
2012. Okay. All right. Yeah. So have you seen any positive changes since since you've been over there? Any changes like in the culture, the administration, better programs, or anything like that sticks out in your mind now that reinforces you making that decision, knowing that you made the right decision at the end of the day for yourself?
Um, yeah, I mean, um, it well, I think the biggest thing out of it was that um, you had you had the you had the power to make your own choices now, right? It was like nobody held you to a certain expectation or standard, or telling you what you can and can't do, or like whatnot. And so, not to say that these programs were available to everyone. It's got to go across the board. It's not um, just because it's here, it's not over there. Like, no, it's got to be. Everybody's gonna have the
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
to these things. It's just now, I was allowed to make these choices for myself, to say, you know what, like, I want to get into this program without having to think like whether it was okay or not, or I want to go to this yard because they have these programs over there, and things like that. And so, yeah, I started, like, I mean, during that time too, programs weren't really offered like that. I mean, throughout the time, it's gotten a lot better and better as time has passed. Like, they started offering all kinds of, man, like, all kinds of good things to us. But during that time, they had like vocations, some vocations, and I think vocations been around for the longest though. But and
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
self-help groups, and it wasn't until like years ahead that I started seeing like college programs, community college programs, on-site colleges, um, people coming in from the outside, like ARC and Inside Out Riders and ABP and things like that. So that little by little is started filtering into the prison system, and the thing about it was, since over here now, like, you were able to make those choices, it seemed that uh, they were more prosperous on these yards, with people that were interested in being a part of these programs, because they were just allowed to, by
All right. The 15 minutes were up. I'm gonna step away really quick because I gotta run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Stay tuned.
This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Eric Fuentes.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, Eric.
Hello?
Man, you know
Yeah.
what? Whew, that was a close one. I had to run to the restroom really quick in between the little break we got. Man, but I should have put a toilet in here. I should have got one of those prison toilets. So I could have had everything I ever needed.
Dude, I'm on the toilet right now. I got all that.
Yes, there it is. Yeah, that's the only thing this place is missing right here. That and the man, I would be good to go, but I didn't want to install any mechanical, so we went without it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my chair. I get to sit on my toilet when I need to sit down.
Okay. Oh, so you don't even have you don't have a desk to write on?
No, yeah, I got a desk. And all that. But
Oh,
as
okay.
I said, my that's like my couch, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, we gotta still in the desk. Yeah.
Yeah. So for tonight, I think after this call concludes, that we'll be good. We'll be good for tonight. Man, shit. Man, these
Yeah.
2.5 hours, man. They flew by.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, I agree, cause yeah, we need to start going to sleep a little earlier. Earlier the better.
Yeah, you're not gonna miss out on any sleep tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I need to get some G's in, you know. But yeah, no, for sure. So that'll work.
Okay. Man, you're gonna have to tell Jesse, hey man, you didn't tell me that I wasn't gonna sleep over this. I was gonna, be on here for hours upon hours.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I got a complaint, man. You told me this is gonna be quick, easy. You know what I'm saying, and this and that. No, you didn't tell me I was gonna be all in my feelings and reliving all kinds of stuff and be on there for hours and days on out. It's like I'm gonna have to start charging you. You know?
I'm gonna be in the negative on that right there. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. It's truly a pleasure, man. You know, a great opportunity to tell my story, man. And I don't share none of this to condone or to praise or to glorify or any of that or glamorize any of this stuff. It's just it's who I was and ultimately what I realized, you know, how wrong that how destructive those decisions were and man, what a
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
what a destructive lifestyle that was, you know, and it was senseless, you know, and so it's just I share my story to hopefully it's like they say, you know, a wise person it says a smart person learns from his own mistakes, a wise person learns from other people's mistakes. And so hopefully people can get stuff out of this, man. You know?
Yeah, or or even because I look at the analytics on here, and normally the demographics on the age for the viewers would be like our age, like like in 30s
Okay.
and 40s or whatnot. So hopefully by them listening to this, maybe they have like either a family member, they got a kid or something, and they
For
see
sure.
they see something in them, or they're going down that path, and they're like maybe they could intervene and talk some sense into them. Some people, they're just not gonna get it until they actually experience it themselves. But maybe there's one or two
Mhm.
individuals out there that maybe they could catch before before going down this journey, and or maybe they could mentor them and let them know that there's more out there,
Exactly.
either going to school or getting picking up a trade, or like you said, I mean, there's a lot of organizations out there now, like what is it, ARC and the Inside Out writers and whatnot. So I'm not sure. And I should probably reach out to somebody at ARC to find out if they only help out people that are coming out of prison, or if they help out people that have been in the system or affected by the system. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because
Right,
that would be good to good to know. Because I know a lot of people, they got no hope, and maybe if one of these organizations does help people that have been system impacted, maybe that help them get on the on the right foot and do something positive with their lives.
for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, no, man, most definitely. And yeah, uh, I think one of the biggest things for me, I think it was just if I would have had somebody to take the time and kind of pull me to the side and just talk to me every so often, about life and the decisions I was making and things like that. But it's just unfortunate sometimes the life doesn't permit that. And so I think making oneself available to those that are struggling and are find themselves in the negative path, just like making yourself available to them and just kind of like hearing them out and giving some advice, like on like not just once though, but like a daily check-in, like to let them know that somebody does care, you know, and I think that will go a long way.
Yeah, yeah, just showing some interest, caring. I know growing
Yeah,
up I didn't have like that, or that I could think of anybody that really a male role model that was positive. I had a lot of role models, but
exactly.
it was for the wrong things. They were showing me how to obtain money and clothing and things of that nature. Um, but
Yeah,
maybe you know what I mean, and I didn't turn out. I mean I don't think I turned out too bad. Because I didn't end up going to prison, but I could have easily made the same choices that could have led me there. But
for sure.
luckily I didn't, and I know going through the camp system and going through the county system, it affected my mom, and we had one or two conversations one time about me, being in those places and how being in those places made her feel like nothing, like a failure, and
For sure.
and just hearing things like that and reflecting on it now, I'm like, man, I got kids now, and I don't know how it would feel if my kids went down the same path I did. um and I'm pretty sure that shit was
Hmm.
embarrassing for
Yeah,
my mom, like having to go, my mom didn't drive, and going to visit me in camp, she would have to, pay somebody to take me
for
up there,
sure.
and like how the hell do how do you tell somebody like, hey, puede llevar a mirar a mi hijo porque está en la juvenil, and that shit's
Yeah,
embarrassing, like, man, like I wouldn't like want to go pick up my kid at the police station, go to court, and that's just embarrassing,
none of that.
and I didn't feel that, when I was going to when I was going to court and getting arrested. Like I would get arrested, I'll be holding up my head high, like it was cool. That shit's not cool at all.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's how twisted our mentality was.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, it's like I keep saying, that what was bad was good and what was good was bad, you know?
Yeah. Hey, you know
Yeah,
what?
man.
We got some comments on here. We got one from Lovely Sunshine. She writes, "That's deep." And we also got a comment here from Eric Martinez. He put, "Good interview. Stay up." And we got another one from KC underscore fan one. She put, "Stay positive and keep your head up." But we're not done with this interview yet, because we only gone through a part of it. We still need to go through his whole journey, from the other side. And then we got Stainless Steel. Much respect. Just
Yeah,
tuning in. Yup. Hey, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the comments. All these comments and the thumbs up, the thumbs down, and you guys sharing, helps us, to get onto the YouTube algorithm or the YouTube universe, and possibly, getting into the right ears, hopefully making a change or influence somebody to do something better with themselves.
For sure. Heck yeah, that's what it's all about. You know, but try to breed positivity. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Man, you're welcome. I'm not sure what your schedule's looking like tomorrow, but if you're available tomorrow, tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, I have some availability. Um, let me see. Stainless Steel writes, Gracias, homeboy. And then Cata Lopez writes, need a pen pal. Oh shit. You might be getting you, you might have to relocate. You're gonna be like, I knew it. I knew it. It was a
No,
bad idea.
no. No, man. Yeah. No, I don't. I appreciate it though, but no, I am happily with someone and somebody I respect and love dearly. So, yeah, I'm not I'm not into that. You know, like not into it, but like, no, I'm all right.
Yeah. But if you're looking for some pen pals, Kata, I might have a few individuals that are looking for pen pals. So definitely stay tuned.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is a lot of individuals in there. They've been down for a long time, and they don't have family, or their family is gone now. Due to whatever reason, moving, getting old, and things of that nature. So you know, uh,
Yeah.
you're fortunate.
Yeah, and man,
Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, absolutely. No, the thing, one of the things that caught my attention was how you mentioned about like our moms and things like that, and man, that's something that I would really like to touch on too because and it probably this will probably be for future interview or whatever, but
Yeah,
it's something that yeah, man, like our moms, man, they ride it out with us, through it all, and 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 I showed a bunch of ungratefulness, to my mom, and the reason why it stood out to me and why you mentioned it was because um I just, man, unfortunately, man, I just lost my mom in uh in October in October of last year, and it's been one of the hardest things. So it's very fresh in that, and there's a lot to unpack there as well. And so yeah, man, gotta give it up to the moms, man, who are there, man, that stay strong through it all, regardless of anything.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. Because I'm sure. Hey, let me ask you, how many of your homies were writing to you, accepting your collect calls, sending you packages that you could remember,
Oh
you could
man,
recall?
very little, very little. I mean, I'm not gonna say that none, because then I would be lying. I do have some that have also changed their lives and stuck around, and have been around, for the most part, that I still keep in touch with, and but they're not no longer involved in lifestyle, and they got their life together as well. But it's probably like one or two, aside from pretty much anybody else. So yeah, it's like nobody's around no more. You have those one two that you actually made a genuine connection with, that actually do stick around, and those ain't even homies no more. They're like, now they're just friends. They're actual friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because
Yeah.
shit, if you think about it, a lot of people outgrow it, they change their lives. Some people that don't, but that shit don't look cool being 40, 50 years old and still, hanging around, you know, you doing the thing. Ain't nothing. I'm not, if that's your thing, is your thing, and you're listening. But man, it's definitely, times have changed, and there's a lot of opportunities out there.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Hey man, so she
No,
spoke right there. And if you want to go ahead and give out your shout outs, and we could definitely continue, most likely tomorrow if you're available. I'm pretty sure I am.
okay. Yeah, I probably will be. I don't think I have anything in store aside from working and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see what's up mañana. See how it goes. But of course, as always, shout out to my lovely lady, Liz. I love you. Hopefully, we can talk right now. If not, then you have a good night and sweet dreams. And thank you for allowing me to be on this space and everybody that's listening.
Hey man, thank you for coming on, and I really appreciate you. And like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we're out of here. Y buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Right out.
That's right.